We've all been there, right? That persistent mental heaviness, that cloud of doubt that just completely hijacks your day. But what if it's not just a random mood? In this explainer, we're going to dig into a really powerful perspective that sees this struggle as an intentional attack, and, more importantly, we're going to uncover a specific tool to fight back.
So let's start by just getting on the same page. And let's talk about that feeling. You know the one? It's kind of subtle, but it is incredibly powerful, and it can totally derail your momentum.
I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? Your mind just starts spinning and spinning on these endless, anxious loops. What if I fail? What if they're right about me? What if this whole thing just goes wrong? It's absolutely paralyzing.
And it's not always some sharp panic attack. Sometimes it's just this weight, this kind of vague sense of dismay that drains your energy and makes even the simplest tasks feel impossible. You can't really put your finger on why it's there, but it is. And man, it feels like it's there to stay.
Okay, but what if that feeling isn't random at all? What if it's not just a bad mood or, a tough day? This is where things get really interesting. This is a pivotal shift in how we see this whole struggle.
The language here is so specific and so important. It's not a little bit of anxiety. It's a siege. I mean, think about that word for a second. It's an intentional, strategic blockade. The core idea is that this mental attack has a very clear objective: to bring your progress, your purpose, and your forward motion to a dead stop.
So this reframe is absolutely crucial. Going from, I feel bad, to, wait a minute, I am being fought is a total game changer. It takes you from being a passive victim of your emotions to being an active defender of your mental and your spiritual territory.
Okay, so if it's a deliberate strategy, there has to be a reason, right? Why is this happening? And why does it always seem to pop up right when you're on the verge of something good? Let's break that down. So there are two key reasons for this. First, the attack is aimed directly at your potential. That heavy feeling, it often latches on to the very things you feel most called to do. Second, and this is so important, have you ever noticed that right after a major breakthrough or a moment of incredible spiritual clarity, a wave of discouragement just hits you out of nowhere? That is not a coincidence. Those spiritual highs can make you a target. So just look at this shift in thinking side by side. What feels like just some random, unexplained sadness is actually an attack on your potential. What seems like just passing anxiety is a deliberate effort to halt your momentum. And what you might just brush off as a simple mood swing is often a direct reaction to a spiritual high you just experienced. See the difference? It's huge.
All right, so we've identified the problem, we've identified the strategy behind it, but you can't just know about a siege, you have to know how to break it, right? And this is the good part. There's an incredibly powerful, actionable tool for this very thing. We'll call it the shutdown command. The response is a really simple two-step process. The first step we've pretty much already covered: recognition. Just calling the siege what it is strips it of so much of its power. But that second step, that's where you go on the offensive. You deploy the spiritual shutdown command. And here it is. This verse from Isaiah 41:10, it's not just a comforting passage. In the context of a mental siege, it's presented as an active, authoritative command. It is a declaration of truth that directly counters the lies of fear and dismay. This is your weapon. And let's be really clear about this. Speaking this truth over yourself isn't just wishful thinking. It's you wielding the authority you've been given. When all those what-ifs start swirling, you meet them head-on with, "Do not fear, for I am with you." When that heavy feeling of dismay settles in, you counter it with, "Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." You are activating a promise that is way more powerful than the attack against you. So this all leads to a single, powerful resolution. A choice that you get to make every single time that siege starts to form around your mind.
This is it. This is the declaration. It is a decision. It's saying, I recognize the strategy, I see the attack on my future, and I am choosing to stand on the authority of a higher promise instead of surrendering to this feeling. I refuse to fear. It's simple, it's direct, and it changes everything.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. That siege, it's designed to stop your momentum. So what momentum in your life, in your career, your family, your calling, what is so valuable that it's worth fighting for? What will you protect today by refusing to fear?